December 25th, 1998, Pixar with Disney released its second film, A Bug's Life. It was about a young ant named Flick who travels to the city in order to find warrior bugs that will help him save his colony from Hopper and his gang. During the movie, the leading lady and love interest to Flick was named Princess Atta. Princess Atta was voice played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's an actress who was best known for playing Elaine on the sitcom Seinfeld. Atta was Pixar's very first princess. She was the oldest daughter to the queen and the oldest sister to Princess Dot. Upon meeting her, she is a nervous wreck and overly stressed out because she was currently in training to take her mother's spot as queen. And things don't get any easier when you got a clumsy worker like Flick around launching things on top of you.
This is my new idea for harvesting grain.
Oh, another invention?
Much like everybody else in the colony with the exception of Dot, she didn't very much care for Flick and his new gadgets. Atta was a perfectionist who just wanted to do things by the book and satisfy the grasshoppers so they would go away.
That's everyone.
However, everyone was not accounted for, as Flick was still lagging behind. He leaves his gadget running next to the food supply left for the grasshoppers. He watches in horror as the leaf collapses and drops every bit of grain into the water below. Before Flick can even tell Atta what happened, it's already too late.
What did you do?
It wasn't long after Hopper and his gang soon smashed in looking for answers. Hopper even ends up exchanging wisdom to Atta when she tried to redirect all the blame back to Flick.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't.
First rule of leadership. Everything is your fault.
Before Hopper leaves, he decides to punish the colony by forcing them to collect double the food by the next time he returns. However, Flick was getting ready to receive his own personal punishment.
Didn't mean for things to go so wrong. I especially didn't want to make you look bad, Princess.
Well, Flick, you did.
I was just trying to help.
Princess Atta and the council had a dilemma when trying to sentence Flick. They were concerned no matter where they send him, he would still be a nuisance. Until Flick came up with the one idea they could agree with. Flick volunteered to go to the city to look for bigger bugs to fight Hopper and his gang. They didn't expect him to succeed, but what they planned on was him being gone for weeks. No Flick meant no trouble when trying to recollect the food for the grasshoppers.
After much deliberation, we have decided to grant you your request.
But even with him temporarily gone, it didn't make things for Atta less stressful and it didn't make the colony's problems go away. Ants were collapsing from the hot sun and there just wasn't enough food to spare for themselves. But when Flick actually returns with a group of bugs, he introduces a new hope into the colony and catches the leading princess off guard.
What? How? He wasn't supposed to actually find someone.
So, Princess Atta, what do you think?
When it came to Flick's success, she didn't have enough time to wrap her head around what happened. All she could think of was, ants don't fight grasshoppers. But her advisors reminded her that bigger bugs do. It just wouldn't be this group that ended up being circus bugs. When Flick realizes he made a mistake, he then tells Princess Atta he is pulling the group for a secret meeting.
It's classified in the DMZ. Gotta go ASAP. You know, strictly BYOB. Bye.
BYOB?
BYOB. Bring your own bottle or bring your own booze. When you tell a member of the royal family that you are having a secret war meeting, expect them to get suspicious. And Atta was now suspicious of Flick, who she thought was withholding information from her.
Oh, I knew it.
But when him and the so-called warrior bugs end up rescuing Dot from a bird, he ends up getting to live a lie a little bit longer. A lie Flick was now fully aware of. Later on, Princess Atta pulls Flick to the side and talks to him one-on-one. This scene will mark the longest and most personal conversation they've had so far in the film. Besides her mother the queen, Flick is the only other one who can calm Atta down out of her insecurities.
The whole colony. Nobody really believes I can do this job.
Just waiting for you to screw up.
Atta wasn't the only one that had insecurities. Flick had them too.
Flick, I owe you an apology. Well, I haven't been that nice to you, and I'm sorry.
After the apology, the next half of the conversation inspires Flick to come up with a plan to scare the grasshoppers away, but not before he snags a kiss from the princess. As the construction for Flick's bird plan commenced, we began seeing more mutual affection between him and Princess Atta. When the film started out, it was pretty one-sided just for Flick, but after their mutual conversation, it became pretty clear she had love for him too. But love wasn't the only thing that was blossoming in Princess Atta. The princess that was once upon a time extremely stressed out seemed to have faded away. She was now not only more calm than what she used to be, she was also having fun. That was, at least until the former employee of the circus bugs came to town and ruined Flick's plan. The circus bugs were exposed, the plan was ruined, and Flick now had an angry mob looking at him.
You lied
lied, Flick. You lied to her. You lied to the colony. You lied to me. I want you to leave, Flick. And this time, don't come back.
After exiling Flick from Ant Island, the colony is soon forced to fall back on its sword. With hardly any food left on the island, Princess Atta now has a real reason to be nervous.
I give you a second chance, and this is all I get!
Flick eventually returns to Ant Island. Even though his bird plan is now gone up in flames, he still stands up to Hopper.
Ants don't serve grasshoppers. It's you who need us.
Hopper tries to make a quick example out of Flick by striking him down and squashing him. But before he could, Atta acts as a shield, and then leads the charge against him with an army of furious ants.
You see, Hopper, nature has a certain order. The ants pick the food, the ants keep the food, and the grasshoppers leave.
After Harper's army was chased off, he got one more wild card when the rain came in, and snatched Flick off into the dead of night. Atta managed to catch up to him and rescue Flick back from him. Flick, of course, had one more scheme of his own and wanted to go in another direction away from the colony, with Hopper still not far behind. They would soon lose him only to borrow a short amount of time.
No matter what happens, stay down.
Flick, no, what are you doing?
Flick would tell Atta to stay down for safety, and then makes himself bait so he can lead Hopper into the mouth of an actual bird. When we fast forward back to Ant Island, not only is Flick and Atta an official couple now, but New Beginnings needed new leadership. The Queen officially turned over her crown, and Princess Atta became Queen Atta. And that, as they say, is that. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Furry Profiles. If you liked today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for future videos. My name is Jawbreaker, and I thank you for watching Playfur Cinema.